All right, folks, welcome back. Steven here with We Slay Dragons. Wanted to talk to you today about city terrain options in Alpha Strike. There's a number of ways that you can jazz up your table, a number of different options based on cost, and we're going to go with just the cheapest, laziest options first. And then we're going to kind of go through the different possible upgrades. And the first easiest option is just the free one. You have trash in your house. You have cardboard boxes from cereal, from Pop Tarts, and this stuff works just fine as stand ins for buildings. If you don't care about the aesthetic and you just want to play the game and you need line of sight blockers, boom. Boxes. Found this one yesterday. Very fond of this. This was holding mushrooms. Just 8-ounce mushroom container. And it already looks pretty darn good. If you want to go a step further with this stuff, you could take a little sheet of cardboard to cover up any imprinting on here. Make a nice top. You could add some cladding to your cardboard boxes, and then I would just spray paint these gray and give them like little edge highlighting to catch the different details on it. And this would actually turn out very nice. And I'll probably do a video on making buildings from scratch and junk in the future. And that's actually what I used to use before I kind of started branching out and getting like 3D prints and things. So yeah, just look around your trash for stuff that seems BattleTech-ish in scale. And hey, if it blocks line of sight and if everybody at the table knows what it is, this is a building. Perfect. Moving up a little bit basic, and you've seen this from my previous videos. This was a printable building template from the Quick Start rules for Alpha Strike. You can just go on Catalyst's website, download the Quick Start rules, and they have a couple of buildings that you can just print out. I didn't have cardstock, so what I did was I just glued it to the cardboard from a cereal box. I believe this was some Cheerios. And then I just cut it, glued it, and now I have got a nice solid building for the cost of a piece of paper and a little bit of time. Next option, bit of a nicer building. These are from the game Dropzone Commander, and while you can buy they have incredibly cheap terrain sets with more buildings than you could possibly need, but I find them to be kind of large, like this kind of difference in size. It's designed for a 10 millimeter game. BattleTech, well, its scale kind of fluctuates. It's usually between 6 and 8 millimeters. 10 millimeter works fine, especially if you're doing like a big metropolis or something from like those city missions in MechWarrior 5. But for maybe smaller buildings, you could scale this down. I scaled this down to, I think, maybe 58 or 60%. Please ignore my animals. They're being obnoxious. I don't have access to my basement and studio area right now. We're dealing with a sinking foundation and just had the foundation put on piers. That's a story for a different day. Anyways, Dropzone Commander. You can buy their terrain super cheap, or this was actually on their website. You can go on their website and they've got buildings and roads that you can just print out and use. And you can scale them however you'd like before you print them. I recommend maybe 60% if you're going for something larger, 80%. These are like 58% because I wanted them just a teensy bit smaller. And just like the other building, I just glued this to a cereal box. And it's great. It's very solid. I can put mechs on it, no problem. I'm putting a decent amount of pressure on here right now, and it's great. And then, the same for these roads. I just glued them to some graphics medium chipboard. It's the same stuff that's on the back of like notepads. You can get it at Michael's or other craft stores. So I just glued it to that and then cut it out with a razor from the dollar store, and it looks great. This is another one of them. Moving up into stuff that you're probably going to have to pay for, and the first and probably best costed option is the stuff from the BattleTech Alpha Strike box. You get a bunch of these buildings. You get a couple roads. I'm not a big fan of the roads. They work better for like back roads, but not for like a city. It's nice because it's swappable between having grass on the side or having dirt on the side. And then it also comes with like some lakes and ponds and things where you can flip it to be, you could use that as lava or acid on an alien planet or whatever you need it to be. Again, so long as everybody at the table knows what this is, then it's fine. But you can get this stuff in the Alpha Strike box. The MSRP on it is like $70. You could certainly get it for cheaper on Amazon. I do 100% suggest supporting your local game stores first because most of them are going to have a place for you to play. Not everyone is going to have space for like a 6 by 4 foot wargaming table in their house. So if you want to play on something larger than like your kitchen table, gaming stores are a wonderful, wonderful resource. If you don't have one in your area, then yeah, save some money, buy it online, get it through Ares, Noble Knight, Amazon for probably cheaper than MSRP, but I will always, always, always suggest going through your friendly local game store or FLGS first. Moving on up, 3D prints. Now they usually look pretty usable, just out of the package, whoever shipped them. I don't have a 3D printer myself. Sorry, I'm also playing cop with my cats right now. They keep fighting right next to me and I don't know why. So I recently got these roads. I'll do a link to these. I got them off of Etsy. I don't really have the space or desire to get into 3D printing myself. I had to remove supports from some mechs that I ordered online just once, and it was just awful. Just awful. I hate removing supports. I will absolutely pay a premium to not have to deal with supports. Anyways, I got these roads online. They're wonderful. I haven't done any painting or priming of them yet because I can't decide if I want them to be gray or if I want them to be black. So I've just left them as the 3D printed material. Pretty sure this is PLA and not resin. It looks like it. And it's got some flex. Resin tends to crack pretty easy. And then I also got a bunch of these buildings. Most of the time, they don't come like this. I did some painting on this myself. All I did was prime this gray and then gave it some dry brushing. And, you know, just tossed a little bit of paint into the windows. And you know what? Looking at it through the video, it looks pretty good. Looking at it in person, I see a lot of flaws and things. But hey, 6-foot rule, if you set it out at a distance, even at arm's length, that looks fantastic to me. So yeah, that's it. That's some options. You can also spice up your towns or your cities with like some ponds or stuff, you know. They have parks, and you want to have the occasional body of water in your games, so you have a place for mechs to cool down, or grab some partial cover, stuff like that. And felt is wonderful. I 100% support more wargaming terrain using felt. So that's all. Short video this time. I just wanted to show some of the options that you have for introducing cities to your games. And city fights are a great thing to have in your game because not only do you have potentially a lot of line of sight blockers, making for a very tactical game of Alpha Strike, but you can also use construction factors and play with destructible buildings. And, that means that you can destroy buildings that mechs are hiding behind. Mechs can move into buildings and hide inside them and not just use them for cover. Infantry can fire out of buildings, and you can destroy them to kill the infantry inside. You can hide objectives in them. It adds a lot of usefulness to like the probe special ability. So yeah, try out buildings sometime. You don't have to spend a lot of money on it, any money on it, or really much time on it. So that's all. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you all for the next video. Take care.